My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Darkest Dungeon, specifically the Darkest Raptopia Estate, the second of his name. We're off to the Weald. We're off to see the Wealdlings, the wonderful Wealdlings of this game. So, with Mallory up in the front, the apprentice Flagellant quite a bit quicker than the average bunny, with the quick reflexes locked in. We've also got Mordi here as basically our main stunner and off-inspiring cry stress healer. Got our main healer in Bard, also just trying to pretty much move her up the ranks. I'd really like if we could get a particularly powerful Vestal so that we can focus on basically just... I'd like to have a Vestal that is really, really reliable for the bosses that are upcoming and the Guardian in the courtyard, I guess, who also would count as a boss. And then finally, we've got Botian in the back line, just for the main stress healer as well as a damage dealer. This is also pretty much the only party that I could really create, 2 frontline melee characters and then 2 backline characters. So it's pretty much the only party that I could really actually create, considering the fact that now I have a lot of frontline members and a lot of healers, I just don't have many backliners, which is a unique and new position to be in. I'm in fact just a little bit pleased with that position. Complete turnaround of what it was before. I only just realized that pretty much everyone here is going to need a little bit of upgrading. I'm pretty certain everyone has the right skill set, though. That's looking promising. Yeah, everyone has the right skill set, so it's a pretty painless upgrade. Considering the fact that I have the bank, and the bank is going to pay more based on the amount of money that I have currently in hold, I'm going to start also quickly selling off the trinkets that I don't need as many copies of. Like... Demon's Cauldron is so important that I want a second copy of it just in case I lose the first one. But, for example, Brat Tambourine is actually similar for just in case I start to get to run Jesters a lot more. Hopefully Bohon actually has that. But Brawler's Gloves, for example, lowering the speed on the person who's already in the front line, and the front line is typically someone who is quite low speed. Except for, of course, the Flagellant, but... the Flagellant also doesn't want to lose their crit and doesn't benefit that much from extra damage because they don't hit for that much. It's the DOT damage that does things for them. So, Brawler's Gloves to me are like one of. So, I'm going to quickly sell 3 of those. Moon Rings, I just want more. I'll keep a second Rampart Shield, but I definitely don't need 3. And I definitely don't need 4, which there is a Rampart Shield on offer from the mission that I'm currently doing. Yeah, healing received on the Antiquarian will never be used. That could slow someone. That's probably never being used. Dodgy Sheath is probably never being used. Even the ones that are situationally possibly gonna be used, I'll try and keep one-ofs, but the ones that I can't envision a circumstance where they get used, like Poisoned Herb. The second Poisoned Herb is basically my second Blasphemous Vial, so I'm just going to kind of conflate those two and sell one of them. I've also got these 3 Books of Sanity, and I've got an Aria box, so if I get another Book of Sanity, it gets sold. There could be a stressful mission. I mean, for example, if the Shrieker came back, I would give everyone a stress relief trinket going in, so I would definitely need 4. Including the Aria box, though. The rest of the trophies and things like that I'm not going to sell, nor ancestral trinkets, and definitely not these Crimson Court things. So we just made about 12k there, it looks like. Alright, let's provision up. That's 2 full rests and 4 hunger procs. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll take a full stack of keys, and... I really want to take like 2 stacks of shovels, but I'll just take 1.5 stacks of shovels. Take a full stack of bandages, and then those are going to be all of my interactables. The rest of that stuff can sit as it is. Beauty! Let's embark. As I said, these kinds of missions need to happen in the interim because, of course, I need to advance the level of the Weald so that I can...
I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
Coax out the boss to come and fight me. I also chose the worst of my 2 Vestals because the other Vestal actually had Dark Temptation, and there's... Sorry, that was a glass off to the side. I was very calmly trying to move it and accidentally smacked it against something. It is the worst of my two Vestals, but the other Vestal has Dark Temptation, which will actually cause her to interact with a lot of the Curios in this area, especially the Dark Effigies. That probably would have caused an interaction with a Coffin if I have to be entirely frank and honest with you. That one's dead. These are beasts, so Botine will just destroy them roundly. May as well roll for the stun. Might be able to rob a turn off of someone. That's down. Easy. And then I've got a guaranteed kill as long as Mordir clears, so I'll leave the one on lower health alive. Yeah, feel free to. In fact, just pile all the damage on their friends. Can now easily go for a stress heal. I'd love to get a quick action on my crew. Damn it. Ugh. I wanted the Crusader to have a quick action so I could use Inspiring Cry. It's also quite possible that I outspeed them with my frontliner here. Yeah, I'm not going to try that again. I got a little bit of stress heal out of that. In fact, I got a lot of stress heal out of that.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Yeah, a full stack of Jade is worth like 75 more than a full stack of gold, but gold is much more malleable to work with. This can give you a negative thing. I don't think it's that horrible. Right, who do I want to interact with it? Honestly, I kind of want Mallory to interact with it, because if Mallory... Wait, is that true? Just questioning myself. If Mallory gets a positive that's good in the Weald, that's really good, because a lot of things here can be bled. Like, if Mallory gets Cove Adventurer, Cove Explorer, Cove Tactician, or the Ruins version of the same things, you don't really care about those, because you don't want to take a Flagellant to those areas, because those things are resistant to bleed, or immune to it in the case of the Ruins. But things like the Warrens and the Weald missions, the Flagellant's just all over that. So, how about that? Even if it didn't come into play, I appreciate that making that reasoning will, in the future, make that decision much quicker. So sitting through it and actually making that decision still has value, even if it didn't happen to be necessary even slightly at all. Is explore 90% of rooms? I could save myself one backtrack. Probably not worth. There are so many Curios as we ascend up here, so I'm very likely to try and fight this in low light, and then go... No, I don't want to fight this in low light. If I fight this in low light, I'm fighting the other one. Hang on, no, I pop a bunch of torches here. I fight this in high light. I fight the one in the other room in low light. Because I need to extinguish my torches I leave here so that I can get these two treasures, these two curios, then that has to be a low light fight. That's basically just to save myself 3 torches. Speaking of low light fight, we've already actually lost some light here, and because it's really important that I try and stop these from dealing their stress to us, I'm actually going to pump that back up. Basically, I really need the accuracy from my sun rings, and they are damaging my ability to keep that.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Yep, I didn't think that one was going to connect.
Be gone, fiend.
Frustratingly, it's going to be real difficult to... Oh, God, fuck off. Going to be really difficult to take out the backliner here. Taking a lot of stress in this fight so far. We do have 2 causes, or 2 ways of stress recovery, so it's not going to be too difficult. Is that a 5? No, it's a 4 still. Yikes. So that's another hit we still have to put in there. Okay, perfect. You're dead now as a result of the bleed. I'm going to just hit that. And stun. Alright, beautiful. Hopefully we get a few actions before her turn so we can do some stress healing, but I don't believe that's super likely. I mean, number 1, come on, come on, come on. Hey, 15 stress heal, don't mind if I do. I'll see if I can get another turn out of it, but it's very unlikely the Crusader is faster than 7 speed rate. Yeah. Yep. I do want to keep emeralds if I'm taking a stack. Holy Water's unlikely to be used, so... yeah. Bandages aren't worth it, though. All right. Light goes
The
out.
darkness holds much worse than mere
And loot
trickery
comes to me.
and boogeymen.
Gimme, gimme, gimme. I could take that for more food. I mean, there's an interactable just above us. It's unnecessary, though. I won't need all of that food. Alright. Here's a really good one, because the shovel is actually going to clear a space in our inventory.
A fortune waiting to be spent.
More interested in the busts than crests. Which sounds like euphemistic for something, but it's not. Give me those curios. Please be graves. Okay, that's fine. This is a good interactable. Oh, another shovel. Okay, there's another obstacle up there, and there's so much more. I could actually probably get a lot of use out of that shovel. I might just throw away the dog treats. I should probably just use dog treats a lot earlier. Because, especially on long missions, I tend to have to get rid of them.
Are often low on supplies.
Oh, this is a shitty fight to be doing in low light, but it's okay. Since we're doing it so early, and since it's a long mission, so we have a bunch of rests. I'm still going to hit the one that just attacked. Since we're doing it so early and we have a bunch of rests, we're in a reasonable position where we can use the rest of the dungeon to recover from what's about to happen to us. It's a very bleak vision of the future, but one I hold nonetheless. Yeah, that's a lot of stress. Good work, man. You stress me out. Good hit. Okay, that stun will take you out of action forever.
Confidence surges.
I should have nuked the backliner because the flagellant could have acted fast enough to take out the cultist acolyte before she got a turn. So that was that's the play that would have resulted in the least actions in that back line. I should have kept that in account. Okay, if that stun connects, beautiful. You die before you get an action. So it's stress heal, last person out, close the door. Wait, no, the cultist brawler is actually speed 5. That's not okay.
Give them no quarter.
It's likely he would have acted before my Crusader, so I can't kind of just pass things down the line. I really wish I'd turned out the light just before the end of that fight. I did have the option to, I just didn't do it. I was, dumb. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you very much. Yeah, Onyx is too low value to take with me at the moment.
Terrors may indeed stalk these shadows, but yonder, a glint of gold.
Easy choices. And then we've got 4 different curios with which we can interact on our way north. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay. Don't want any of that. Fair offer, though. I mean, if I had a larger inventory or an antiquarian around, I'd probably be carrying a gold stack, and that would have been lovely, but I'm afraid at the moment, bud, it just don't cut it, son. I am so glad we bought a full pile of bandages, because
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
they've proven quite handy. Busts? Okay. Do I need to start picking up deeds for the occultist antiquarian knowledge building in the Hamlet, the district, rather? I don't think so.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption.
I have the extra scouting chance, so I'm just going to walk in here regardless. Yeah.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
That was a very hopeful kind of holding off. I wanted to see if I could get the scout and find some more curios and things like that before I actually have to pump the light back up. Do we still have it? No, we don't. Okay, so this is just interact for lowest stress. The only way I can prevent a Cultist Acolyte from getting a turn is if we go for that hit, and then the Flagellant Axe next. Beautiful.
Continue the onslaught.
This is going to make taking out the Cultist Acolyte in the back line really difficult, so I'm going to have to launch pretty much every available attack. 4 means that with a reasonable basic hit, I think our Houndmaster is going... What's the Houndmaster hitting for? I think it's 8 to 12. So if I get the 11 or the 12 and invoke the bleed, we're fine.
About to break.
I could just control these guys for a while as well.
Decimated.
It was 9 to 14 as well, so I don't know exactly why that happened. I guess I'm not really guard protecting, but these guys do low damage, and I've got a Flagellant in the front line, so the Flagellant will be able to heal it up. I do really want to stall for a moment here for some stress. Nice! That is a ridiculous heal for a level 1 Vestal. That's probably entirely courtesy. In fact, definitely entirely courtesy. Of the fact that this Vestal has a plus 10% healing bonus. Nice crits. Plus 10% healing bonus that is given from the camp, the district. Just redeem, heal yourself up. As well as the 25% from the trinket that she's holding, the Ancestor's Scroll. So both of those are adding up, and just, if I am right, I believe I am here, putting her over into the ability to heal 7 for a single target, which is real good. Oh boy, that's a lot of stress heal. Speaking of a lot of stress heal, heck of a lot going on this round. I probably ought to use Urbard for off stuns now. Jeez. They've hit me 4 times, and 3 of them have been crits. It's a bit rough. It's a bit rough, bud. Oh, right, I am marking myself. That's probably not that bad. I don't know if marking yourself increases their chance to crit you. I know it increases their damage, but we've also got prots. Alright, I'm going to check if it increases their chance to crit you, or if I'm just going really unlucky here. But in the meantime, roll that heal. Oh, high rolled that shit. Nice, nice, nice. Stun him! They are fungal scratch. Ooh, I implore you not to Google that. Yikes. The autocompletes just make me feel bad on the inside.
The limbs obey.
Yeah, they just do extra damage versus Mark. The crit chance is still 6. So I'm just getting ridiculously unlucky. That blows. Yeah, and it never increases their crit chance. Okay, so I'm just... Wows! So far, all I've done is distribute the stress across the party to different targets. There's still the same amount of stress here. We gotta work on that. I have to imagine being able to hit that 3 is also courtesy of the... Ryan, remember... the 10% extra healing 10% extra healing skills that is given by the district for Altar of the Holy Hand, I think was the name of it. Something like that. You know, I'll only get everyone down to like 10-ish. And then I just camp here, I think. It's not like I need to camp, but I also constantly end up at the very end of the dungeon, and I haven't needed to camp the entire time. Okay. Especially with builds like this that sustain themselves. Yeah, no, I think I'll just try and get everyone down to 10. So I'll use Mordir. I really like the idea of having an off stress healer. So usually you talk about a healer and an off healer, right? The healer is the person who just pumps out those heals, right? Obviously the Vessel is that here. But an off healer is the Crusader. The Crusader has, 1 to 2 healing on the Inspiring Cry, and that is the off heal. It's to take someone off of Death's Door. But an off stress heal, especially when you've got a Botine Houndmaster, means you can specialize and get one person's stress really low while Botine tries to remove the whole party's stress. Because he's not exactly reliable. If you catch my drift, wink, nod. Seriously, 67% chance. Come on. Oh, baby, it worked out well. When it works out, it works out. In other news, water is wet. In case you weren't aware, that shit's wet as fuck. Okay, we've got an 18 and 13. Easy. Come on, hit this on the Crusader. Ugh, if that hit on the Crusader, we would have been 1 round from done. We're close enough to done that I'm just going to start going on the offensive here, though. Alright. No crit, no crit, no crit, no crit. Hey!
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is
Stress
taken.
heal that party. Nice, it hit on the Crusader. We are donezo. Bonk him. And another different bonk. Beautiful. Yeah, you're dead before you get an action next round, so we can just do all stress healing things like... We might actually stress heal the party in time. Shit. I was... Great, now we have 7 stress left. Ugh. Maybe I don't camp yet, but at the same rate, I do want to get the campfire out of my inventory. Oh, I have too many resources. It's my impersonation of me.
Momentary abatement.
Alright, give me that shovel.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
Invigorates the hero. You lose 3 stress. We have exactly 1 stress in the party. You know what? I should probably just fucking torch the firewood, get it out of my inventory. It's just a rough decision to make. How much loss? And now you give me another party that's so easy to stall against. Double bone. Ooh, got resisted. Double bone rabble.
Formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
I'll stun one of them so they never get an action. Super slow. I'll go faster than this one. Walloping into eternity. Jeez. Tell me what the afterlife is like. I mean, they already could because they're bone rabble. Right. I've misspoken. Would have worked on any other opponent.
Triumphant pride precipitates
A dizzying fall. Yeah, figured that was going to happen. Well, if we find a holy water, we know where to come back to if we are desperately in need of a positive quirk. I mean, a lot of these characters are low characters at the moment. I kind of would like some positive quirks on them. Especially you, Urbard. You have nothing that makes me like you. I like you purely out of the fact that you exist and are a Vestal. You need some added value. How about you sweeten the pot for me? I don't know. Become resistant to stun. That kind of thing.
wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
You know, I'll say this. If you became resistant to bleed, I wouldn't exactly qualm about it. Anemic, what's the opposite of anemic? Clotter, I guess? But I thought that one was for blind.
Secrets and
Okay, we've got
wonders
two
can
of...
be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
No! Guilty conscience. I did not know guilty conscience made you interact with that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken you on the mission. Whoops. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I've made a mistake. Ooh, they're surprised. Okay, we can't take out both fungal artillery in the same turn. I can only... We're running into a problem, which is I can only stun the same target that Mallory can hit, which is to say Mallory can hit up until the 3rd rank. Obviously, you want to focus on the back 2 most of the time. Mallory can only hit up until the 3rd rank, and I can also only stun up until the 3rd rank with the Dazzling Light of the Vestal, which makes it really difficult to incapacitate the entire back line. So I think I'm going to go for this. And then Mallory and Bard are going to go for the fungal artillery. Wow, is that a 5%? No, 15% resist, but still. Ugh. Right, I'm going to stun one of them. Stealing rounds from your opponent is ridiculously important. See, if both of those went on the same character, that would have been amazing. But if that stun had actually stunned, then this fungal artillery would be mostly out of contention. At the very least, if I desperately need to, I can manipulate the marks right now. Move them from one target to another. That kind of jazz. Okay.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
Okay, if you hit that bleed, now I can hit this, and beautiful, you only ever get one more action. I mean, the best case scenario was one more damage, but still. Yeah, Morty's seen worse days. Ooh, nice. If I let if I let this fungal scratcher have one more turn, I can get a stress heal off of myself, and I can probably get a stress heal at the start of the next round. That's kind of worth waiting for, I think. Depends if we crit. Okay, that's fine. 8 HP ain't but a thing. I'll take that. Yoink. And now I'll heal up the rest of it, as well as cure my stress. Easy. You know, I think I will take Deeds over Gold right now. I think I probably should have thrown that Emerald earlier as well. Alright, explore 90% of rooms. I don't think I want to go to these 2 fights. I'll poke my head out just in case this is like a Shambler Altar or something. No, that's not even a good curio. That's a hunk of meat. Yeah, no, because now I can just loop down and around here. You know what? First off, I'm actually just going to turn out the light and loot this. And then camp. I need to free up space in my inventory. Oh, you can't camp while this screen is up anymore. I knew there was a patch. I didn't think it was that.
Rats in a maze.
I mean, we do have 2 religious companions. They'll both get plus 15% protection. That's pretty good. I guess that and Hound's Watch, because I really don't need to use Zealous Vigil. Yeah. Hound's Watch will pray. 15% protection, baby. 10 accuracy and 10 dodge. I mean, none of you are missing because you all have sun rings. I guess if it was low light situations, who do I want to be able to hit? Or rather, who needs the dodge? I guess I'll just give it to the big dude.
The light, the promise of safety.
Okay, a battle just spawned in front of us. Let's all relax, act like that's a totally normal thing that happens all the time. Don't tell me you don't walk out your front door and immediately dun 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 dun. That's more of a Pokemon trainer battle kind of instigating, but you get my drift. Can't walk off a meter without stumbling over a battle. Actually, recently watched a musical that a friend of mine had directed.
Unforgiving.
And we were all waiting outside the theater afterwards. That is, all of their friends and myself, just to accost them as soon as they came out of the doors with celebration, congratulations, etc. And since we were all standing kind of like guard of honor style across either side of the door, facing one another, effectively creating a hallway of adulation, it very much felt like the walk up until a Pokemon master at a gym. And you've got all of these different trainers who will one by one stop you. Dun, 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 exclamation mark and all. For the record, it didn't play out as awkwardly as that. It was just quite nice. He was pretty tipsy. As I could understand, it was 2 hours after a musical they directed had been on stage for the last time, so he'd had his gutful.
So clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Merely a trick of the light, Mofra. Really would like a collector or something like that? Like, my inventory is almost full. Come on. Give me that collection.
A devastating blow.
I also really want to install... I probably should have done this before I started recording today, in fact. If I'd thought about it, I would have. The mod that actually speeds up combat.
That overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
I'll admit, it does look really jarring the first couple times you see it, because people look like they're moving at Superman speed. But it feels really essential. Combat in this game is... It can be really slow, especially when you're doing things like stalling. It's just an extra consumption of time that you don't really need. We need to guarantee that one's dead. This Rabid Nasher will only get one turn, but I can't really do anything about that right now.
Destroyed.
Bravo on choosing the only target without protection. Oh, bravo on choosing that target, particularly with it. Boom. Crit him right to hell. I love it. I'll actually just take that bleed off of you. 3 points of damage from me. Thank you very much.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Considering how boring this hallway is, I'm very likely to get to this door, loop back around, poke out to pick up this curio that I'm gesturing towards on the map, and then kind of C-curl my way back around. Okay, we've got way too many torches at this point. We're fine. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. Actually, as soon as I enter this room, I'm probably done. Kind of want to turn out light to loot this. Yeah, whatever. I've got enough torches I can just turn it back on immediately afterwards if I need to. Speaking of enough torches. Speaking of enough torches. Any of these that I know I won't interact with, I'm probably not going to get 2 hunger procs before the end of the game now, so there we goes. Pump it up again, don't care. I'll probably turn it out as soon as I finish this fight as well. Fight me, look like I give a shit? Because I don't. Who told you I did? Okay, good. As long as we manage to hit this stun. And stun. Good, that one never gets an action. That's perfect. Oh, that was a low roll and a half. 10 to 19 rolls the 10. 10 and 11 were the only numbers there that wouldn't kill. Come on, that's like a 20% fuck shit. Well, you chose the right target to mark, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, let's just guarantee that Rabid Nasher doesn't get a turn. That's also really handy. If the Rabid Nasher had died in that first swing, I would have been able to strike the fungal artillery in the back line because it moves forward and the Rabid Nasher doesn't leave a corpse. But, you know.
The ground quakes.
if its ifs and buts were something and something, I don't even know how that one goes. If its and buts were something and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. That sounds as right, but I don't even know what could go there. Alright, Sanguinate. Hit that heal.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
I am not going to need 4 of those before the end of the game. Okay, it'll be entering this room, but we don't have to pick another fight if we don't want to. So that means torchlight out time. Who did I have interact with this last time? I think I had Mallory do it. All right, Mallory, do it again. Yep, insight into the nature of this world, and we are a Weald adventurer. Plus 20% to stress resist. Negative 20% to me, like, negative sounds like it should always be a negative, right? It has that clear, obvious connotation. So, you know, negative 20% to stress, to me, sounds like it should be a bad thing. So I wish it was like, you know, plus 20% to stress resist, but, you know, it's the smallest issue I could possibly have. And yet it grieves me so heavily. There we go. Basically one more Curio, then we're out of here. Pretty easy Weald, if I'm honest with you. It's quite easy so far. In fact, one thing I will do is I'll explore this, and then I'll pump the torch and walk into the room just in case I get a critical scout that shows me a secret room.
For a task well performed.
It shouldn't happen because I think I actually explored the lower end here with the critical scout. Alright, it couldn't. Cool. Then we'll burn the last firewood.
The battle may yet be won.
Okay. Nighttime ambush now can't happen, so that's all I needed to do. That and stress resist. We came into this with a party that already had a little bit of stress on it, so
reduces the isolation of our troubled estate.
picking up that many crests to me, always a great thing. Balanced and tough. Tough on our bud. That's actually pretty good. A healer with more HP is pretty good. A healer with hard skinned is also pretty good. And a healer with better resistances to DOTs, so they don't get in a position where they're on death's door and then as soon as they start their turn, they have to check whether or not they die. Because that's how you lose people.
There is a great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
Is Pesha a particularly good gambler? No, you're not. Okay, you just won a trinket. Warrior's Bracer. I guess, thanks. Renushari has become one with the pain and refuses to stop flagellating yet. I actually did this before I started the episode, just because I kind of wanted to sort that stuff out, and I didn't think it was super important. But we had a bunch of people just release their stress so that we can take them on future missions. All right. Ooh, Streveland. Oh, early riser. Oh, kleptomaniac. Soft. Penance and no-go. Shul as well. Whereas natural swing's just +5, right? You're kind of a no-go as well. I really want Streveland, though. Alright, let's look at our low-level characters. Bohon, Pesha... I really need an antiquarian in here to move up with Pesh. I need backliners. I guess I kind of want Ferrer. I wouldn't lock in Natural Swing, and I wouldn't lock in Armor Tinker, but Armor Tinker would make things a little cheaper. I'd have to remove 2 negatives, though. And someone from my party. Don't forget, there is that cost. I mean, it's worth noting that, like, Bellicote is a backline, so is Bohon, right? They are backlines. They start at the front, but they are backline characters. I think there's still enough parties I can make here that I'm not so forced into the corner of having to pick that up. none of that's really worth my time. All right, what's our next district to build? I really do want the Red Hook at some point, just for the achievement that it gives. Puppet Theater is actually probably a good idea to get at some point really soon. Athenaeum. Athenaeum? I think. I'm unfamiliar with the AE pronunciation. I've read it innumerable times, but I've never had to say it out loud. Antiquarian, Occultist, Plague Doctor. Increases their blight skill chance, except for the fact that the Antiquarian's blight skill, like the Occultist doesn't have a blight skill. The Antiquarian's blight skill ain't that great. You don't really care if it hits because it doesn't do that much damage. The Plague Doctor's one always hits regardless. The debuffs, yeah, I mean, the Occultist's core set has something that increases the debuff skill chance, which is 40% on the Cauldron. Demon's Cauldron is already 40% debuff skill chance, so that's pretty much always hits regardless. What about the Blasphemous Vial? Blasphemous Vial doesn't have that, but I guess you don't use debuffs on the Plague Doctor. In fact, yeah, you don't use debuffs on the Plague Doctor. The other one's the Antiquarian. And the Antiquarian's Plague, debuffs are all pretty piss poor. And Knowledge Curios heal 15 stress. But the thing is, the Knowledge Curios are also the ones that suck the most. Like, at the very least, let's just take, like, a small subset of them. The ones in the ruins, right? The books, piles of books, and the wardrobes. Wardrobes full of books. Tall boy full of books. What do they even call it? Shelves. Whatever. Cupboard, I think they call it in the game. They haven't got doors. That make it a cupboard. Never mind. It's... both of those can give you just a negative quirk for interacting with them, and the best they can give you is, like, mapping or a positive quirk. And the chances aren't greatly in your favor. So those you really wouldn't interact with. Like, they can give you stress, and then this mitigates that a little bit, but they also have these horrible negatives that you don't want to interact with them ever for. So getting this pretty much would just be to complete the set. Outsider's Bonfire, I could see this working for me as soon as Red Hook changes the Abomination. They've been talking about it for a long, long time, but honey, it's all talk until anything happens. Basically, they've been talking about reworking the Abomination so the Abomination will be able to work with religious characters, just changing the restriction set. And I think they were talking about changing the way the restriction interacts so that you can remove restrictions. Regardless, it is going to take a fundamental rework of the way in which the Abomination works to want to take them out, because otherwise you are restricted so much in your party creation. It doesn't seem like you would be, but you can't take a Vessel, which means you definitely have an Occultist Healer. The Occultist Healer is so much more powerful in rank 2 than they are in rank 3 or rank 4. So you want them there because, of course, their stun is available in ranks 1 and 2, and you don't want to put them in rank 1 because they're not a tank. So you've already got a slot 2 character that has to be an Occultist. For... This is obviously like these are broad strokes. I'm not saying 100% constant, but it's heavily a good idea, to speak poorly, to have a second line Occultist in that. And then you've got to think about, okay, who do I take in my front line? I mean, I really like pairing a Man-at-Arms with an Occultist in the second line, and that would work. But it means I definitely will never be able to use a Flagellant in the front line, because the Flagellant is religious. I definitely won't be able to use a Crusader, and sometimes you do want a Crusader. And the... where's the other religious class? Oh, I don't have the other religious class. I can't even remember who the other religious class is. Hang on. It's Crusader, Flagellant, and Vestal. And someone else. But, basically... is it just them? Huh, yeah, no, it totally is. But basically, the thing that really kills it is having to take the Occultist and having to put the Occultist, basically, in the second line, because that's where you really want the Abomination to be, because the Abomination has the better skill set for tanking. The Abomination has really powerful moves in ranks 1 and 2 when they're in Beast mode, and ranks 2 and 3 when they're in Human mode. So, there's this unfortunate overlapping of restrictions. But as soon as that's removed, damn, I would love to get some up in this bitch. Leper though, nope, not happening. For the moment though, is the leper also religious? Anyway, for the moment though, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Darkest Dungeon. Hopefully you've been enjoying the fact that I can't stop talking for 45 minutes, and hopefully we will see you next time.